Hi guys, please like, share and subscribe for more actuarial science tutorials and updates and information relating to the profession, and contact this number if you want full lectures for any CM, CS or CB subjects. Thank you. So let me just start with working out this question. This is September 2013 question number 24. Okay, and I'll be using the IFOA notation sheet to do this. Okay, so you have a very standard contract, 4-year with profit endowment assurance. The sum assured is 25,000. The life is age 56 exact at entry. You have level premiums which are paid annually in advance throughout the term of this policy, right? Compound reversionary bonuses are added to the policy at the start of each year, including the first. Okay, so yeah, so you have bonuses which are being added at the start. So like the death benefit and the bonus will, like the interest and bonus will exactly cancel out, because the first year's death benefit will also have the first year's bonus, right, included. Uh, okay, so the basic sum assured together with bonuses attaching is payable at the maturity or at the end of the year of death if earlier. This is simple. So what I need to do is just calculate the premium and show that it will be equal to this. We're working with select mortality. These are the given expenses, and this is the bonus rate, which is 1.92308. So you know 6% and 1.92308 cancel out to be 4%. So how will I start? I'll say equating EPVs. So this is what I have to do. Which part am I doing? I'm doing the first part, right? And I will be equating EPVs. Okay. I'm using a very new keyboard which I'm not used to, not my usual keyboard, so my speed might be a bit slow. Okay, so please excuse me for that. So for equating EPVs, what will I take? I'll be taking the EPV of premium. So that will be equal to what? P times A due, and you have to take the age of the policyholder, which is just 56. So this is 56 select. Okay, and you have to take the term, which is n years. So n years here is 4 years, right? 4. Okay, so this is your EPV of the premium, but you have to also account for the interest factor. So you will just take times what is your sorry, the expense factor. So what is your expense? You have got an expense of let me look at this. So this was 2.5% of the second and subsequent premiums, right? So I will just take like the 2.5% directly, and I'll take extra initial expense separately. So I will just take 0.0975. Okay, so this is something, this is one thing to take. Then you have got your expenses and benefits. So what I'll do is I'll just equate this with, this will be equal to the EPV of benefits, and this is calculated at at 6% per annum. So you have to take at the rate 6%. So this is ADU at the rate 6%, and you have taken this factor, right? Fine. Now you have to equate this to what? You have to equate this to the assurance factor. So what will that be? 25,000. So 25,000. And what sort of contract is this? This is an endowment assurance. Bonuses vest at the beginning of the year. So this will be endowment assurance. Okay, so you're working with endowment assurance. And what is the age of this policyholder? It's 56. Okay, and you have a 4, right? So 4 years is what you're working with. And do you have claim expenses? Well, you don't. No, you don't, right? And this is at what rate? This is at the rate of 4% per annum. So you will say at 4%, right? So your endowment assurance will be at 4%, because your bonus and your interest discount, that will cancel out, right? Plus what else you will have? You'll have your expenses. So here you have already accounted for 2.5% of the expenses. You need the extra initial expense. So initial expense is 25% of the first premium. You have already taken into account 5%, right? So you need to take the remaining 22.5%. So you will say 0.225, right? 22.5% of what? P, right? This is one thing you need to take. Plus they are saying you have 100 as well, so this 100 will be taken into account. Plus you have what, 40 at the start of second and subsequent years. So what I'll do is I'll take this to be 60 instead of 100. Okay, and I'll take 40 which is payable, let me just give a space. Okay, which is payable from the beginning of the first, and it will go on for the subsequent years, because I've taken 60 separately, right? So it will be what factor? This same factor, right? So you can take this factor here. Yeah, fair enough. And what else do you have? That's it, I guess, right? So you've taken into account your expenses, all sorts of expenses. So straightforward. So you have just equated the EPVs, right? And once you do this, you can say, okay, this implies what? This implies that once you have equated, you can find P is equal to what? So you can directly do your P calculations once you have shown this. Okay, so now how do you calculate P? You will go to Excel. So let me do that for you. Okay, and we will be using the tables. So let me get the tables for you as well. So what will your premium be equal to? Well, it will be equal to this term. So just copy this. Okay, uh, take and this is something you have got. Obviously plus this 60 and 40 that you have. Well, take all the terms that don't have a P, right? So yeah. So I mean, wait. So these terms don't, right? So you can just take them, right? And what else? That's it. Yeah. Everything else has a P with it. This also has a P and this also has a P, right? So this whole thing divided by what? Divided by this value. Open a bracket, control V, paste it. Minus what? Why is this coming out as a hyperlink? Okay, so minus what? Minus, you have this term, this number, right? Right. So this is your whole answer here, right? That's how it works. I mean, you can give some spaces. Okay. I don't know why this is coming out as a hyperlink. Remove hyperlink. Okay. So this is your answer, right? Now you can just put it on Excel and find it out using your tables, obviously. So let's just do that. So you get to Excel and you get your tables out. So I have to use what? AM92 select mortality tables here, right? So let's just look at AM92 select mortality. Just wait. So something you can actually do is that you can take out the specific pages of the AM92 table which you really use very frequently, and you can put them in a separate sort of sheet, okay, so that you can find them very conveniently. Another thing you can do is you can actually code a value function generator which in which you can feed all of these values and it can generate any of these functions directly. Okay, so those are like few of my suggestions, so you can do that. So for now I need to take 4% ADU n, right? So you have, this is 60 plus 56 plus 4, right? So you go to 56 and you take 56 4, right? So that is this number, select number 56 4. This is your number. Okay, so this is something that you need. Fine, let me just paste it and say, okay, this is my assurance function. And what else do you need? You need the annuity function from 6%. So that will be 56.4, right? So 56.4. So that value is 3.648. Okay, so that's something you copy and you paste it into your Excel. Now I just need to do the calculation. So let me get back to Word, and I had made a small error here that I had written 0.0975 instead of 0.975. So it's 97.5%, right? So that I've corrected. Okay. Now this thing, how do you fix this? Okay. So you need to do the calculation. So equal to, well, what do you have? You have 25,000 times what? Times your assurance factor, right? Cool. Plus 60. Okay, plus 40 times what? Times your annuity factor, right? Uh, so you close the bracket. Divided by what? Divided by your annuity factor times 0.975 minus what remains? You have 0.225. That's it. Close the bracket. And here's your answer, 6483.258. So that's how you calculate your premium, and that's how you show it. So once you have this, and if you're confident about your expression here, I mean without calculating as well, you can just write P is equal to this. I mean if you have shown your calculation this way and everything's correct, you're sure you'll get the right answer, you don't have a lot of time, you can just write the answer directly because they've given you the answer directly, right? So yeah, you can do that. Fair enough. Moving on to the second part. Okay, let's do that. So now for the second part, what do you have? The insurance company holds a net premium reserve using a rate of interest 4% per annum and AM92 ultimate mortality. So the point is that this net premium reserve will not obviously include the future bonuses, but will include the past bonuses. So that is why you cannot actually use the shortcut formulas and you need to do full-fledged calculation, which makes it very difficult to do it in short amount of time. But since we have Excel at our hand, that will really help, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so how does net premium reserve work? Okay, right. So we would include the past bonuses but not the future bonuses. So at any point of time we just need to see what is the amount of sum assured that we have. Okay, so that can be done using Excel. Well, let's see, we started with 25,000 and the bonus start vesting at the beginning of the first year itself. So if you want to find the sum assured, and you will have to start at time what, 1, 2, 3 and 4 as well, right? So you have 4 years. Now what does the sum assured become in the first year? So you have 25,000 times what's happening here. So you have 1.92308%. 0.92308, right? 308, right? So this is what will give you, oh I'm sorry, I had to include an equal to sign. This is your sum assured, and what you can actually do is so this is basically with the power of 1, right? So let me just write to the power of 1, right? So once you have this, you can actually do it for all of them, and that gives you your sum assured in all the years, and you can actually do that very fast and just paste it into Word, and actually you'll be showing your calculations. So like this is acceptable, this is acceptable. They have written that you are not supposed to, okay, let's show some borders. Okay, so this text has to have borders, right? So all borders. Okay, so well, here you are showing your calculations. So you will just say sum assured at the end of each year after including past bonuses is given as follows. Okay, so you this is actually something you have explained, so they wouldn't have a problem with this, and this is how you would have done it in normally in part A as well, even if you were writing the exam on a paper. Okay, now the point is, once we have this table, wait, okay, so once you have this table, now what can you do? You can find the net premium reserve. Net premium reserve. Now which is the first one we'll be finding? We'll be finding 1V. Okay, so 1V, how do I calculate 1V? Now 1V is basically nothing but the sum assured. So you are actually calculating the present value, expected present value of the future sum assured, right, minus the premiums that you will receive. So 25,000 times, I will just copy this factor. This will actually help me. I just have to change some stuff here, right? So yeah, let me just take that. And what will happen here is, instead of 56, you have to take 56 plus 1. That would be the policyholder's age now, right? And here you can take what is the amount of remaining term, so 3 years. So that's what you have, right? In terms of the present value of the future sum assured, minus you have to take what, wait, so one thing to observe is that in the question they have written that they're using ultimate mortality and not select mortality, so that makes life easy. So we can directly write 57.3, right? Minus your premium value, right? So what is the amount of premium that you are receiving every year? So your premium has come out to be this, so you can use this number directly. Okay, maybe just write it to 2 decimal points, or maybe just write the whole thing, times the annuity function. So what will be your annuity function? It would be equal to this, right? And you can actually do this. Okay, and now the point is, have they given an interest rate? 4%. So you have to make it flat 4%. So in both the cases it just becomes 4%, right? So that's something you can do directly, no issues with it. I mean, just let me just maybe write a longer minus sign. Okay, minus sign looks weird in this. Anyway, can I like all draw, maybe I can try this minus. It looks the same. Anyway, so it's a hyphen only. So yeah, so this is something you have got, and this is how you will calculate your V1. Similarly, you can calculate your V2, V3 and V4. So once you have shown these calculations, I'll show you how easy it is to do in Excel. Okay, so control V, control V. Okay, so now what can you do? You can just edit this stuff. So this is 2 and this will be 58. Just hold on for a second. Yeah, this will be 58 2 and this will be 59 1, right? So that is how it will work. This is at the end of the 3rd year, and at the end of the 4th year you don't need a reserve, right? So that's fine. Fine. And here as well, similar changes. So this was already 57, and you had a 3 here. This is 58 and you have a 2 here, and this is 59 and you have a 1 here. Perfect. So this is how you calculate. Now you just need to write equal to, and well, finally equal to. Now how do you get these values? Well, super easy. You can use Excel, and just one formula will be enough. You already have these numbers here, you already have the premium here. So what you need to do is okay, there is some problem in terms of you need all of these values, but that is fine. That's something we can manage directly from the table. So I mean, let me just take this. So you are just working with 4%. So I'm at this page now, M92 4%, and I need ADU and AXN, but ultimate ones, right? So I will be needing from 57 to 59, right? So all of these values, right? But some extra values are getting copied, so I'll have to remove those as well. That's one thing, remember. So now what I can do is just go to Word, right? So I'll just paste these values, but there's a problem. They come in a weird format, so I'll have to fix the formatting a bit. So what are the values that I need? I need the first two, because that is where I started copying. I mean, let me show it to you actually, whatever I need. Okay, so from this I need this point 287 88963. So I need these two. So this is just one number, and then these get deleted. Okay, and then I need this, but it's a separate thing. Okay, and you need this. Okay, and you can delete this. Let it be here only. Okay, let it be there with a space only. Okay, and then you have these numbers you don't need, because they are these numbers. Basically you don't need the select ones, you just need the ultimate ones. So these two numbers you need, and then this all goes away. You need these last two numbers. Okay, but this is also just one number, and then you can actually remove this. Yeah, yeah, so this is what you have, and these are the numbers you need. So now they don't look very pretty, and if I'll place them into Excel, they will just come in one single cell. So that's something I don't want. So what I'll do is I'll select these numbers and I'll go to Insert Table, and I'll go to Convert Text to Table. Now in here I have to change the number of columns. So basically there will be two columns, one for assurance, one for annuity. So I'll go to two columns, and one thing I'll do is I'll select separate text at other. Okay, and leave this blank. That means text will be separated spaces. So you just press equal to OK, and this is what you get. And this is the table you need, and you can actually place this into Excel and we'll get our answers. Okay, so what I'll do is now I'll go to Excel. So this is what I was looking at. Now you have your premium and you have your sum assured. Now I just paste these numbers. So these are the values that I have. Or one thing that I forgot is that I also needed to calculate the net premium in order to calculate the net premium reserve. So what I'll do is I'll go back to Word. I don't need this table here. Okay, this I've already moved to Excel. Now I also need to calculate the net premium. Net premium. So what will net premium will be equal to? So net premium does not include any future amounts of bonuses. So you have 25,000 times your endowment assurance function. Yeah, so copy and just paste. Okay, minus in fact not minus, divided by your annuity function for 4 years at the beginning. And this will not be select this time, it will be ultimate. Why? Because we are working with ultimate mortality in case of this. Okay, so you need to take this number. Okay, without any expenses of course, and because it's net, right, not gross. So you have 4%. Okay, and yeah, both of them at 4%. This is how it works. Okay, so I need to do this calculation as well. Just ensure that you have removed these brackets. Okay, so I actually need these numbers as well, which I have not taken from the table, so I need to do that. Okay, and in order to find the net premium, so let me take these numbers as well. So I had the tables open. Yeah, I need to take these two as well. 3.745. This will just go to my Excel, and I need this one as well. Okay, you could have taken like them along with the ones you took. Okay, so this is your whole table, right? Now I can calculate the premium first of all. So what will my premium be equal to? Let me call that P. So premium will be equal to it will be equal to 25,000, which was the initial benefit, times the assurance function divided by the annuity function. So I mean, why is this not working out? Yeah, the only problem is there's a space here, so this space needs to go. Yeah, so you have your premium here. Okay, premium is here. Now once you have the premium, you can actually calculate your amount of reserves that you needed. Okay, so premium I'll paste in Word, and I'll also paste these reserve amounts. So let me do all of this together only. So how will I calculate the reserve? Reserve will be whatever is your sum assured at the end of the first year, including first year's bonus, times your assurance factor, right? Minus your premium, which will be fixed, F4, uh, times, sorry, F4 times your annuity factor, equal to, this is your reserve, and you need this for what, 3 more years? Yeah, so these are your reserve amounts. So you've got everything, just put that into Word. So this is how you can use Excel beautifully, right? Just copy this and paste it here. Okay, copy this and paste it here. Copy this, paste it here. Copy this, paste it here. Done. So these are my premium and reserve amounts, and I've verified them. Okay, so let's move on. Also, the premium amount needs to change. So we had written the gross premium here by mistake. So I need to write the net premium. So what I'll do is I'll go to replace. I'll do what? I'll take this number. Okay. And I will replace it with the net premium that we have calculated now. So that's this number. And you'll just say replace all. 3 replacements made. And yeah, you have changed all of these 3. Okay, now let's just get to next steps. So now in terms of the next steps, we need to make the revenue account. So you would need couple of things. You would need the survival probabilities eventually, because you have to work out the expected profit margin. Also, you would need to calculate the cost of increasing the reserve. So what I'll do is I'll just come up with the probabilities table. Okay, so survival probabilities, right? And these I can actually get from the tables, right? So what all do I need? So this person is aged 56 initially, and I would need okay, 1p 56 select, right? This is something you would need. So 56, right? You would need 1p, or you can just write p56, right? That is also okay. You can write p56 plus 1, because we are working with select, and you will have p what next one will be 58. Okay, so this is stuff that I would actually need. So surviving for the first year, second year, and the third year, and like even p59. So this stuff I need to like take. Okay, and how will I calculate this? Okay, so let's just see that. I'll have to take their values from the tables. So actually you can actually use q. Okay, so 1 minus so how I'll do is it is q 56. This will be 1 minus q 56 plus 1. Okay, this will be 1 minus q 57 and 1 minus q 58, right? Now I can pick up these values from the tables, right? They're easy to do. So let's just do that. So let me just put equal to signs here everywhere, and then I'll just copy this stuff, right? So again, where are we? We have to go to the tables. Tables are right here. AM92 survival probabilities. Even in fact, I need death probabilities. Q. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? N D E. I mean, if you can program all of this into an Excel program, I think this would really help. Like struggling, or you can even like use manually tables, but I think like copying is definitely helpful. Anyway, I'm creating some program to do this is really helpful because you will be doing your calculations in Excel. So yeah, Q56. So this will be 1 minus Q56, which is this. We'll be writing 1 minus the middle column, and then we'll get to the end column. So you will have 1 minus what is this last one? Yeah, copy, tab, paste. Okay, if you're wondering how do I change the tabs, it's Alt plus tab, okay, which makes the transitions super fast. Alt plus tab, Control V. Okay, so these are the numbers I have here, and I just need, and mind it, like these questions might seem super lengthy because they were meant to be solved on paper, right? We are trying to solve them on this thing, Word, so they get a bit lengthy. So you won't be able to solve a 13-mark question in like 20 minutes. It will take 30-35 minutes because that's how it's supposed to be, and I'm explaining as well, so it's taking me more time. So yeah, I mean, yeah, keep that in mind. Okay, so one thing we were told here was that this mortality is operating at 80%, right? So we have to actually take it at 80% of AM92, right? So this was given in the question that your mortality is 80% of AM92. So you will just do this stuff. So you'll just write 0.8. Perfect. So this is what you have. Now what you need to do is you need to calculate these numbers, and this you can do in Excel. So now to calculate the survival probabilities in Excel, what I need to do is I just need to copy this and paste it in Excel, and it will give me the answer. Okay. So let's do that. So Control V and you get the answer. So you copy it with the equal to sign and that gives you the advantage because Excel just understands it and gets you the answer. Right. And this one as well. So you have this, and finally you have this. Okay, so these are your survival probabilities. Survival probabilities. Okay, so these are your survival probabilities, and these you can actually put here, put back here. So you just copy this and you paste it here. The first one, second one, third one, fourth one. Now you have found out the survival probabilities. Now next thing, what do we need to do? So we can calculate the cost of reserve now. Okay, because we have every information needed for that. For stuff like this, you can also put it in tables, so it looks like better. But of course, remove these spaces, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah. So you can put that in a table. See, so it looks great, right? Now what is next? Even this you can put in a table. So yeah, I mean, no need, but you can, and I think it looks better. Okay, so these are the things you have done. Now cost of reserve. Now in terms of cost of reserve, you know your reserve amounts. Okay, so you just need to make the cost of reserve table and do things, right? So that will be done in Excel only. So let me just go for cost of reserve, right? and you have got your years. Okay, so you have your year 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you have your reserve at the start. You add your interest, okay, and you have your reserve uh, at the end per person alive at start. Okay, so this is also you have something you have, and also finally you can calculate the cost of reserve. Okay, and actually I mean you can also add the survival probability here so that every calculation is quite obvious in terms of what you have done. So you can just take these survival probabilities and just put them here, right? Okay, so what is the reserve at the start of year 1? 0. At the start of year 2, you have this reserve. This is the reserve that you had calculated. At the start of year 3, you have this reserve, and at the start of year 4 you have this reserve, right? Now you will earn some interest on this. So interest was at 7.5%, so 0.075 times what? Times the reserve that you have at the start, and this comes out to be your interest. Now uh, reserve at the end per person alive at the beginning of the year. So what you need to do is you need this amount of reserve, but people contribute lesser because you have to multiply it with the survival probability, right? This is the amount of reserve you need, so per person alive will be calculated by multiplying with the survival probability, right? So you can calculate all of these numbers. So you have got your cost of reserve. Now cost of reserve will be what? It's the amount of reserve you need minus the amount of reserve you already have, and obviously plus the interest. Sorry, minus the interest, because interest is something also you have earned. I'm sorry, minus the interest. Okay, so these are your cost of reserve numbers. Okay, that's how they look, and you can in fact copy this table to Word. So first, just put some borders around it. Where is it? Yeah, and now just take it to Word. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Word, and these are your cost of reserve numbers. Okay, just write cost of reserve. Okay, and let me just verify if what we have, the calculations we have done are correct or not. So they look fine, but then since IFO has told you not to just copy paste stuff, so what you can do is you can actually explain these calculations. Okay, so I will name these A, B, C and D, and this one is obviously E. Okay, so these are the calculations you have. So now what can you say? So your B is calculated as A times 0.075, right? Then you can say that C is natural, we have gotten it from the previous table. Your D is calculated, D for which year? For year T minus 1 is actually equal to your A for year T times your probability of survival. So C for year T minus 1, right? So this is how you have done this, and your cost of reserve, that is E is nothing but the reserve you need, that is D, minus the reserve you have, that is A. Okay, So this is how you work it out. Okay, so cost of reserve is also done. Now finally what can I do? I can make the revenue account. So let me do that. Again, that's an Excel problem. So yeah, let me do that. And this is just the notes that you have. Okay, perfect. So these are your cost of reserve, survival probabilities. Okay, so I mean beautification is obviously not important, but I prefer doing it. Okay, you need not. Okay, fine. So finally, I'll just present the revenue account to you. So let us just start with what the revenue account will look like. So I mean, let me just make the revenue account. Okay, that is the profit testing table. Okay, so you have years T, which goes from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you have got your premium. Now, what is the amount of premium that you're receiving? So premium, you have it already here somewhere. I remember we had calculated it. Okay, right. It's right here. Okay, this is your gross premium that you receive, right? Then you have your expenses. Oh, sorry. So actually you need to put dollar signs. So just press F4, press enter, just double click. So this is your premium. Now once you have your premium, you can calculate your expenses. Straightforward to calculate. First year, I think we had premium times 25% plus 100, right? And second year onwards, you had what? Premium times 2.5%, right? Plus, I think you had a 40, right? Yeah. Okay. So these are your expenses. Now you need your interest. So interest will be calculated how? Interest will be premium minus expenses times what is the interest you are earning. 7.5%, 0.075, enter. So you have your interest, and it's the same for all the years. Okay, next is what? Cost of death and survival, or you can say cost of death and survival benefits. Cost of benefits, should I write it that way? Benefits. Perfect. So first here, what is the death benefit cost? Well, you had a sum assured of, because bonuses were added at the start of the year, so you had a sum assured of 25480.77. And what is the probability of a person dying in the first year? So it's just 1 minus the survival probability. So 1 minus the survival probability in the first year, which is this. Okay. So you have everything ready in Excel, right? And that is the advantage of Excel. So you get the cost of benefit, and it's actually the same for the first 3 years. Right, so that is your cost of benefit in the first 3 years. Now in terms of the final year, your cost of benefit will be your this amount. So whether they die or they survive, they get the same amount. Okay, so it will be multiplied with the cost of like the probability of death in case of death, and probability of survival in case of survival, and both will add up to be 1. So you just get this amount only. So this is your cost of benefit here. Okay, now next is your cost of reserve. So you can actually write this as this is done, and you can write this as your cash flow or net cash flow. Okay, net cash flow. Okay, and once you write it as your net cash flow, what is your net cash flow? It's the premium minus the expenses plus the interest minus the cost of benefit, right? So this is your net cash flow, right? And then you have your cost of reserve. Okay, cost of reserve is what? These numbers. Okay, so you just take them. So this is your cost of reserve, and what you can do from here is well, you have your cost of reserve, so you can find the profit signature, right, which will just be equal to your net cash flow minus your cost of reserve. Yeah, so this is what your revenue account looks like. Okay, copy the whole thing with margins, paste the whole thing. Okay, so it looks great. Fine. So I have this revenue account now. This is not T, this is the year. Right. Now, once you have your profit signatures and you have your whole revenue account, what do you need to calculate finally? I think the NPV of profit and the profit margin. Right. Okay. So you need to calculate the profit margin. So how will I do that? And first of all, you need to explain how you worked with the revenue account. So revenue account, okay. So this can be called as A. This can be called these notes thing is not compulsory usually in the exam when it's on paper, but I prefer to do it in the word exam because there are two advantages. One, you will get step marks. Two, they will know that you have not just copied stuff from Excel and you know what you're doing. Okay, you have just used Excel as a calculator. So cost of reserve is F and profit signature is G. Okay, perfect. So year you can call it T. Okay. Now in terms of premium, you know how it's calculated. Expenses. Okay, so you can say B first year. B is equal to A times 0.25 plus 100, right? And other years, so you have B is equal to A times 0.025 plus 40. Yeah, 40. Yeah, 40. Perfect. Now interest. So this was your calculation of B. Okay. So yeah, this is something you have done. And then you have your interest, which is C. Is equal to BA minus B, and this whole thing goes into a bracket times what? Times the interest is 0.075. Okay, cost of benefit. What is the cost of benefit next? So cost of benefit, like you can say directly, it's actually D is equal to benefit amount including bonus times probability of claim. Okay, you have explained this as well. Net cash flow is E. This is irritating that it becomes this euro sign. See if you can disable this. Google for how to disable this. I'm not doing it right now, but you can actually disable this C and E turning into weird stuff. So A minus B plus C. Then you have minus D. Okay. And yeah, these things you can write in negative directly, like so that it's known that no need. We are explaining in notes. Okay, so you have D and net cash flow is here. You have your cost of reserve, which is E. So this is done. Now profit signature, that is G, is equal to E minus cost of reserve, that is F. So this is done. Okay, these are your notes. Fine, fair enough. This is also done. Now what is next? You need to calculate the NPV of profit. Okay, so you have your profit signature. Okay, now along with this you need what? The probability of survival. Okay, so the first years is at time 0 itself. Okay, uh, the second years is at the second years is at 1 year survival, so you will just take it to be equal to 1 year survival. This is at the beginning of the third year with respect to mortality, so you need to take 2 years survival probability, right? So this times this. Then this is at the beginning of the fourth year, so you need to take 3 years survival probability. Okay, so these are your numbers. Okay, probability of survival. So from this you get your oh, this was not profit signature, this was profit vector. Okay, so this is your profit vector, right? You have your probability of survival. Let's also take the discount factors directly. Okay, so this will be equal to what is the risk discount rate that we have to use? They have given it, I believe, right? So what was it? This discount rate is 9.5%, right? So discounting at 9.5%, so 0.095 to the power of minus let's just say I'm using this number. Okay, so let me write the year. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Okay, so you have got your year and you have to take equal to negative, right? Equal to negative of this, sorry, of this. Okay, and these are your interest discount factors. Okay, yeah, and finally you get net present value, right? Which will be equal to what? This times this times this, right? And in fact, let me just write this as present value, and you get your net present value as equal to this plus, so just use the sum command. Well, sum. Okay, so this is your net present value of profit. Net present value of profit, yes. So and you can just copy this table and you can just put it here. Okay, and you can explain that the probability of survival is just the cumulative probability of survival. Okay, so I mean just mark this as B, so you can say that note B is equal to you can actually write it properly, so B in 1 2 3 4. Okay, so B1, B2, B3 and B4. Okay, how have you calculated these? So this one is just equal to 1, this one is equal to P56, this one is equal to P56 times P56 plus 1, and finally this one is equal to P56 times P56 plus 1 times P57. Okay, so these are your notes. So this is also explained. Okay, let me call this A just for the sake of completion. So this is done. So now you have your net present value of profit. So now what is your profit margin? I think you wanted to calculate your profit margin. Right. So that is the expected present value of the premiums divided by the net present value of profit. So profit margin is equal to Npv of profit by EPV of premiums. Okay. Right. Now to calculate EPB of premium, what you can do is you can use the same this thing. Instead of these profit vectors, you can just put the premium amounts here. So just do that and you will get your answer directly. So this, right, and of course F4, enter, right. One more small change is that while profit arises at the end of the year, so this is your premium. While profit arises at the end of the year, your premium is received at the start. So time will change. Time 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So your discount factors will also change, right? According to that. So since the formula was already this way, I just changed the times. Now this is your net present value of uh, or you can write it as expected present value. Doesn't matter much. You can write your expected present value. Okay. So yeah, this is what you have, and now you can just take this to Word, and yeah, just that will be it. So you can say EPV of premium is calculated this way. EPV of premium. Right. Now what is your profit margin? Your profit margin is net present value of profit divided by EPV of premium. So that will just be what? This number divided by what? This number. So to get the answer, just paste this in Excel and get the answer in percentage. So just Control V. Just go to format cells, click on percentage, 2 digits, OK, copy, Alt Tab, equal to Control V. Okay. So this is how you solve this question. Okay. And it took me a bit more time because one, I was explaining. Secondly, this was a question meant to be written in on a paper, but writing it on Word takes a bit more time. But we got advantage of a lot of things using Excel. So yeah. So if you wouldn't have done that, it might have taken 1.5 hours instead. Okay. So yeah, so that's how you do it. Okay. So practice this way. I think if you can use Excel effectively, you will be able to complete your paper in time. But remember, whenever you copy something from Excel, explain the calculation, explain calculations always. Okay, don't copy directly, they will give you a 0. Okay, but if you explain your calculations, you have to think like you are doing it on normally on pen and paper. So what is the amount of explanation that you would usually give? It's the same amount of explanation that you have to give in this case. Okay, so this is Npv of profit. Okay, fine.